Welcome back to the channel, guys. My name's Kyle. Today, we've got a super interesting video. Really excited. This is the Razer Blade 16. Now, before we get into any unboxing or anything like that, I want to just quickly talk about the reason why I bought this machine and why this is sat on my table right now when I actually have another one of these exact laptops sat in the room behind me. I have currently got the Razer Blade 16 2024. That's the Intel model. It's the model with the 4080. Great laptop, love it. It's really good. It's actually very capable. You know, it's not like it's an old machine. It's a very capable laptop. I, however, really struggle with how heavy it is and how much you have to I feel like I'm hulking it about, feel like I'm having to throw a really heavy house brick in a bag. It's not as nice to take around in like a backpack or something like a MacBook. And also as well, you can't game on the go with it. You can't take it off of charge, take it to a coffee shop, do an hour's worth of video editing or an hour's worth of gaming or anything like that, because it just runs like shit. On any sort of battery power, it runs terribly. It loses all of its performance. And I realize that most Windows machines do that. But this, being an AMD machine, promises and boasts to have good battery performance. When I say good battery performance, I'm not talking about time that it lasts. I'm talking about battery performance on battery. And that's a big reason why I bought this machine. And I know a lot of people will probably be sat in the comments saying, oh, well, you don't buy a gaming laptop to have high power away from a charger. Well, actually, hopefully this should prove that that's possible. I have owned, in the past, I've owned a Razer Blade 14. That was with a 4070, and that was brilliant away from a charger. The only reason why I don't have that anymore is because I bought the Blade 16. And to be honest with you, I kind of regret it. I regretted getting rid of the Blade 14. It was AMD, it ran really nicely off of power. The battery lasted for as long as I needed it to. So for context, I'm a photographer and videographer full-time. It's my business, it's my lifeblood, it's what I do all day, pretty much every day. And essentially what I'm looking for is a machine that can do both. And I realize that's a lot to ask, but what I'm asking for is a Windows laptop, because I enjoy the Windows ecosystem, that's got strong performance on and off mains power. That's what I'm after here. That's my objective, is to find a Windows laptop that has strong performance on mains power and on battery power too. So let's get into it. Let's get this unboxed and let's do this thing, man. Let's open it up. Let's crack it open. This thing's supposed to be a lot slimmer than the old one, so I'm really looking forward to getting into this. Yeah, let's go. Let's see what this is all about. So here we've got Razer Blade 16, and I'm hoping my other camera angle can see this nice and accurately. I'm gonna get it out of this outside box nice and quick because I'm very eager to get inside this and see what we've got. So again, like I spoke about earlier on, one of the big reasons why I bought this was basically down to the fact that one, it's small, it's a little bit smaller, it's lighter, and two, because the performance on battery is supposed to be a little bit better than the Intel model. I do also have a MacBook. I've got a MacBook Pro 16 with M4 Max. That is also a work machine. Currently, it's mainly a work machine. Wow, I'm making an absolute pig's ear of this. It's currently mainly a work machine, but I'll be honest with you, I worked at Apple for, how long? 6-7 years? I worked at Apple for about 7 years. Left at the end of last year, so August last year I left. And to be honest with you, I bought a Mac when I left Apple, and it was great. It is great. It's still, again, it's sat in my office behind us. It's great, there's nothing wrong with it. I just don't like it that much. I feel like because I worked for Apple for such a long period of time, I kind of became a bit numb to the whole Mac thing, and kind of just got a little bit bored. So that's why I'm hoping to try and find a Windows machine that can do it all, because the Mac pretty much does do it all, apart from gaming. Now, in terms of gaming and in terms of kind of what I would use a gaming machine for. I'm a pretty big World of Warcraft player, and also, obviously, as well as that, I'm a pretty big video editing fanboy and photo editing. So I do basically that full time, all day, every day, Monday to Friday. That's my job. Now, specs. What specs did I go for? Obviously there's a bunch of different blades that you can get. You can get the Blade 16, you can get the Blade 18, you can get it with 5070 Ti, 5080, 5090. There's a bunch of different specs. The one that I went for felt like the most in the middle model. I've chosen to go for the version with the 5080 and the Ryzen 9 365 AI. The reason why I didn't go for the 5090 model is for two reasons. One, it was a little bit out of my budget for what I wanted to spend on a machine that might not end up being my main workstation. It's very likely, it's possible that if this doesn't perform as I want it to with things like DaVinci Resolve and that sort of stuff, that my Mac will remain as my work computer, and this will just be a backup work computer, but also very portable, very capable gaming machine. That's thin and light enough for me to take to friends' houses and that sort of stuff when I want to play games and all of that sort of stuff. But that's kind of the reason why I went with this model. It's the model with 32 gigs of RAM as well, and the QHD OLED display. So let's crack it open. Let's just make sure that you guys can see here. Those are the specs of the machine. You can pause the video here and take a look. I'm hoping that's in focus. You can pause the video here, take a look at that. Those are the specs of the machine. Let's go, let's open her up. I'm very, very excited. I'm super excited. I just want to get into it. Let's go. Let's see what we've got. So this is a bit different to the old Razer packaging. The old boxes that the Razer Blade used to come in were like big, black, open boxes, like normal. This is a little bit, this feels a little bit more like eco-friendly, which, I mean, I'm down for. However, this, really? Are we getting defeated by a box right now? There we go. Cool, so you get that awesome initial opening. I'm hoping that you guys can see this via the second camera, but it effectively gives you the whole welcome to the cult of Razer, commitment to sustainability. You get the sustainability statement, and then a couple of like quick start guides with a QR code. That's dope. That's actually, I kind of prefer this unboxing experience to the old unboxing experience, which was basically just a normal box full of like, just cardboard. This feels a little bit more like environmentally friendly, which is cool. So you get this black Razer box. Again, this is different to the old model. I'm just gonna put this to the side for 1 second. I'm gonna have a look at the charger, because apparently this year, the charger for this model comes with a non-braided cable. Now, some of you guys might be sat there going, well, why would you want a cable that comes with your machine to not be braided? Well, let me tell you. The cable for the Razer Blades, and in fact, all of the Razer Blades, as far as I can remember going back, have all had this horrible braided material on them. And for the longest time, it's driven me nuts. And bear in mind, I've owned a couple of these, and they've all started to fray and go a bit horrible looking over time. This is non-braided, and I know that it might sound silly to some of you, but this is such a welcome addition and welcome change in this model for me personally, because I hated the braided cable. As I say, it just used to get really tatty over time. This looks really nice, looks really, really nice. So you get, it comes in two parts. You get the big, what wattage is the power brick this year? It's 280 watts. It's a GAN charger. It's a little bit wider than the one that I've got, weirdly, for the 4080. It's pretty light. And then you get the plug end as well. So that's really cool. I'm hoping that you guys, again, I'm hoping that you can see that it's not braided, and you kind of get that on the second camera. Cool, right, let's put that to the side. That's dope, really pleased with that. Let's get into the star of the show, the actual blade. Open her up. Let's see what we've got. So you get this like felt cover thing, which already is picking up loads of bits of cardboard. Let's take it out of there. I can already tell you Jesus Christ. Okay, right. I can already tell you that this thing is so light in comparison to the old one. Right, give me 1 second. Let me go and get my old blade. Wait, right there, give me 30 seconds. So here, I've got my RTX 4080 blade. This is the one from last year. Really, it's actually really nice PC. I like it. It's great. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just very heavy and very bulky. This thing though, boy oh boy, it is like, wow, that is ridiculously light and Jesus Christ, it's so thin. Just as well, like, I just want to point out, it is so wild that we've come as a tech community and like just generally in the world, how we've come from wanting to make devices smaller and smaller and smaller to then wanting to make them bigger and bigger and bigger, and now we're going back to slimmer again. This thing is beautiful, like genuinely beautiful. Just on the outset, like the first thing, weird, mine's got like a little pink thing underneath the fan. I don't know if you can see that there. Again, second camera angle, I don't know if you can see that, but maybe try and show the first camera. But mine there, underneath the mesh, has got like this weird little pink thing. I don't know what that is. Maybe I might have to get a can of compressed air or something on that. That looks like a bit of box debris or something that's fallen out. But this thing, as always with Razer blades, like, it's already a fingerprint magnet. You can probably see it's already picking up fingerprint marks from my hands. Bear in mind, again, I washed my hands just before I came and sat down. My hands are totally clean. And I'm leaving fingerprint marks on this thing already. So yeah, we're still in fingerprint magnet territory. Yeah, wow. This is stunning. Genuinely. And again, I want to just point out for those of you that are probably going to ask, this is not in any way, shape or form a sponsored video. There's no ads in this. This is just coming from a place of me basically wanting to buy a new work PC, and trying to find something that's an alternative to my MacBook or my very heavy, very bulky Blade 16 from last year. That is unbelievable. Like, I'm genuinely shocked at how thin this is. It might not come across on video very well, but like, let me just shut this. So last year's model on the bottom, let me just do this. So last year's model on the bottom and the new one on the top. Let me just show you guys the difference. I'm hoping that the camera focuses on this because it's probably going to want to focus on me. Can you see the difference? Again, not entirely sure if it's going to focus or not, but the difference is insane between the two machines. It's so much thinner. I genuinely can't get over that. It feels so much more like a MacBook. And again, for someone that worked at Apple for such a long time, like, it's a good and a bad thing. Oh yeah, they've changed the keyboard as well. So that's another thing. This year's model comes with a different type of keyboard. I don't know what they've done, but they've given it like a deeper key travel. So it basically, oh man, yeah, that's going to take some getting used to, because all the keys, and again, I'm hoping you can see this, but all the keys on this machine are moved to the left a little bit because basically Razer have made room for these page up, page down macro buttons that they've got over on the right hand side, which I'm kind of here for. I would have really liked them to rather than just going straight in and adding macro buttons, I think I would have liked them, and this is already just on initial impressions, I think I would have liked them to keep the keyboard the same layout as last year's, but maybe just do what they've done with the travel, because the travel feels a lot nicer than last year's model. But I don't know how much I love the fact that there's an extra row of buttons on the right hand side that are macros. I don't know, maybe I'll get used to it over time, but I think that's probably going to take a little bit getting used to. Trackpad still feels very large. I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken, this is actually slightly smaller than last year's trackpad. Yeah, it is. So it's not quite as wide. So again, hoping that the second camera picks this up, but it's not quite as wide as last year's trackpad. Last year's trackpad was really, really wide, and kind of, there was a couple of issues with last year's trackpad where it would have some problems with palm rejection, and you'd be sat, you'd be typing, and it would just make it really difficult. Like, I'll try and show you, like, let me put the new one down here for a second. It would make it really difficult if you're sat, again, I'm hoping it picks up this on the second camera, but you can be sat typing, and then where your hands sit, your thumb, the thumb and the sort of palm of your hand constantly touch the top of the trackpad. It's not a good look. Because Razer's software, as good as Razer are, Razer software isn't the best. And sometimes they have a bit of a tendency of not having the best palm rejection. The only laptop from Razer that I've not had palm rejection issues with was the Blade 14 that I owned from 2023. That thing had no palm rejection problems at all, and was probably one of the nicer typing experiences. But again, this thing with a bit more key travel and just feeling a little bit more like a proper keyboard rather than one of the really thin keyboards. I don't know if you guys have seen, Razer released a keyboard called the Razer Joro recently, literally like a week ago. And it looks super slim, like super slim membrane keyboard. I don't think it's mechanical. I could be wrong though. Correct me in the comments, feel free. I'm pretty sure that's probably gonna feel like this. And if it does feel like this, I think it's gonna be great. This feels fantastic. I'm just gonna tell you guys straight away off the bat. It feels really nice. I'm a little bit worried about how my Apple Watch strap is gonna be on the palm rest area. So on my old Blade, I actually ended up investing in a D-brand palm rest skin, which I'm gonna have to do on this one as well, because quite honestly, I wear my Apple Watch 24/7 and I really don't wanna scuff this laptop up. Ruins the resale value and ruins the look of the laptop. So I think I'm probably gonna end up investing in one of those quite quickly after this unboxing today, I think. But yeah, let's get it plugged in, let's get it powered up, because I think it's either dead at the moment or it's another laptop that needs plugging in before it can be powered on. So just give me 1 second and I will be right back with the machine powered on. Okay, so we've got power. Yeah, I'm telling you guys straight away, immediately, this charger is so much better than the old one. Why Razer stuck for so long with that stupid material that they used to use, where it used to cover the whole cable in this like horrible mesh stuff that just used to get trashed. Literally, I had that Razer Blade 16 that's down there. I had that Razer Blade 16 for all of about 6 months before the mesh started to go all frayed and horrible. So immediately, straight away, on unboxing with this, can tell you already that the RGB lights are well and truly in session. Razer's done another thing with this this year, from what I've heard, where if you press the FN key, there it is. If you press the FN key, I'm hoping that you can see it on the second camera here, but when you press the FN key, it shows you the keyboard shortcuts across the top. So you've got volume up, volume down, mute, play, pause, blah, 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 blah. You've got all of those and they light up. Whereas before, there's a really weird thing that used to happen where you would literally, like, you'd be using the laptop, sat using the laptop, and you'd have to like really lean in and try to see what all the buttons were, because they just didn't light up, and it was a really weird experience. But now Razer have included that as well, so I'm super, super happy with that. But all in all, so far, I'm really, really happy with it. It looks like it's a really promising machine, at least from a physical standpoint. It's beautiful. Really, really nice. Like, as always, it's all one piece of aluminium, I believe. I don't think it's any other material. I'm pretty sure it's just aluminium. It's stunning, man. It's stunning. I'm really happy with it. Mildly worried about this little piece of like whatever the hell that is. So I'm going to have a little look at that. For now, I think that's probably where I'm going to leave this video. Thank you very much for everyone for watching. I think what I'm going to do is probably make another video second to this, which is like my initial benchmarks, first impressions with it, use it, you know, get a few benchmarks down, maybe get a gaming session or two on the cards and sort of just get a feel for it. It's probably going to be a 3-part series. So this will be the, obviously this will be the unboxing. Then it'll be sort of the initial impressions and just, I guess, trying to get to grips with this machine, fault testing, that sort of stuff, because again, Razer's QC sometimes can be a little bit iffy, as can with every manufacturer, right? Apple has issues, Razer has issues, Lenovo has issues, like all of these brands will have quality control issues on some machines, it happens. But what I'm looking for here, again, is a machine that can replace my Mac and a machine that can ultimately be my one and done computer. Whereas if I feel like it's not quite up to snuff to do that, it's more than likely this will become my dedicated gaming machine and backup work computer, and the Mac will remain my work computer if I don't feel like it's either stable enough or I don't feel like it's sort of a nice enough user experience to a point where I want to use it for everything. But we'll see, we'll find out. I'm probably gonna use it for a few hours now, get everything installed, driver installs and all that sort of stuff. And I think I'm gonna come back to you guys on another video. Take care.